Hello and welcome to another live stream. I am XJW Caleb, as you can see from my t-shirt, and today we are going to be going through every single reason that the Jehovah's Witnesses have to kick out people. We're going to be, well, I won't spoil how we're going to do it just yet, because I need to introduce my co-host, so I'm already fucking up, so I need another co-host, and my co-host is the beautiful and only TikTok extraordinaire Apostate Barbie. Say hello to Apostate Barbie, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
You were in the chat, so you already spoiled it, but I mean, this is in the title, so I guess it's fine.
That's anyway. Me. I just make things awkward.
We are going to go through all of. I asked to come into this live stream because I wanted to have like a nice, fun conversation about something that is not really fun, which is disfellowshipping. Disfellowshipping is a very traumatic experience for a lot of people, despite what the governing body says that maybe people have forgotten what they were disfellowship of. No, nobody really forgets. It is an extreme, like it's a canon event, all right, for Jehovah's Witnesses and ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, like a disfellowship, the disfellowshipping process is a very traumatic experience, and there are a lot of reasons why you can get disfellowship. The Jehovah's Witnesses have this manual, the secret manual for elders, which I'm sure you know about. Like everybody here knows about it. The what's it called? Shepherd
the flock of God.
Thank you, shepherd the flock of God. I just call him the elders manual because that's what it is. Like in my brain, that's how it's called.
I really want to get my hands on one, like an actual real life copy, and touch it as a woman.
Yes, exactly. Because you're not allowed to. Women are not even allowed to like touch it. You can't even see it. It's haram, right?
I just really want to go.
Yes, I don't have one. However, we are gonna see the virtual version, which you can find in avoidjw.com. I'm not affiliated to them. I don't know, and I promote them a lot because they're a great resource.
Yeah.
But that's why I fuck up when I promote them. So yeah, in chapter 12. Have you ever examined this, or have you ever actually examined the elders manual before?
I read it once when I first left, and then I was like, okay, cool, I've read it. But I haven't fully like examined it unless I'm making a reply to someone on a TikTok where they're like, no, you can't get this fellowship from this. And I'm like, oh, yes, you can.
Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of weird because you have to like keep up with the elders manual, because currently the version that I have right now is the version that came out in I can't remember. It's in Avoid GW. I think it's in October of last year, but they also have the one in May from last year, and then there's always updates to this manual. This manual originally was like a thin, like little thing, and now it's like a booklet pretty much. And soon, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be longer than the actual Bible.
Yeah, it's like every sliver of new light that gets dropped has like some other unintended consequence that has to pop up in here.
And not only that, but they actually did a few changes after the Australian Royal Commission. Like they just tweaked a few things, or like tweaked the wording a little bit to be like, hey, is this, I mean, we are gonna shun children. We're gonna shun children. But like, is this good? Like, parents have to be there when they shun children. We're not a cult anymore, right? Like, they do that kind of stuff with the elders manual. Because it must Queen of Flatulence for 2 big ones. You don't have to do that because you're already a Patreon. Caleb, both you and Apostate Barbie look fabulous. Thank you so much. I was hoping that you guys would notice like this. I just got this. Let me just show you before we begin. Let me just. How can I make myself bigger? Let's move you for a bit.
The eternal question.
There, look at this. Do you see this? It is. I just got like this pendant from a Jehovah's Witness. And it is the Daniel statue, the proper Daniel statue. When I saw it, I was like, I need it. And now I'm making a video about it. Jehovah's Witness memorabilia.
The question is now, can you put your weed in that?
Can I put my what?
Your weed in that.
No, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit, unfortunately. However, I may just add like a little like claw, so I can use it like as a you know as a joint holder.
Yeah, see, there we go.
Anyway, let's get started. Determining whether a judicial committee should be formed. That is how Chapter 12 of the Elders Manual starts. And over here, it lists every single offense that will require review by the elders. Now, what does that mean? When you do that kind of stuff, Apostate Barbie, what does that mean? What does that mean? Like offense that require review by the elders? Like it means that you're gonna get kicked. Like you're gonna suffer. Right?
They're gonna either like private reprove you or you're gonna be disfellowshipped.
Exactly. You've done something,
wrongdoing.
And there are going to be consequences. It's just a matter of deciding what the consequences would be, right? And that is a very important part of the Jehovah's Witness discipline, because they're like, oh, it's just we only disfellowship like unrepentant people and whatever. It doesn't matter. Like if you do something against the Jehovah's Witness religion, if you do one of these in the list, you will have consequences. Your social life in the religion will be affected, and you will be subjected to a certain degree of shunning.
And there's like so much like nuance that goes into it. Like, what is your family background? Are you related to an elder? Even if you are related to an elder, are you going to be given like extra leeway, or are you going to be come down on more harshly because of that? Like there's just so much that goes into it that they say it's by Holy Spirit, that they're led by Holy Spirit, but like there's just so many dynamics that go into it that just you can see that it's not.
It's clearly not by Holy Spirit. I wanted to go like through these, but instead of going through all of these, let's just jump immediately. And obviously, like I love this part, because this is like a super long list, right? Like it's so long that the list itself is a page and a half long. That's how long it is, right? But then it literally starts by saying, of course, this list it's not comprehensive. Like, we made disfellowship people for things outside of this list.
Yeah. And then sometimes it'll be like a little thing, like if you wore nail polish as a guy, they'll be like, exactly. Okay, we're going to come down on you for that, but we're going to blame it on something else. So
you're like weird and gay and like kind of like, like don't look at my nails. But like if you're one of those weird people who do their nails, like of course you'd get disfellowship.
Yeah.
Anyway, over here they do say what you were talking about. There may be they should consider the extent and nature of the misconduct, intent and motive, frequency or practice, and so forth. If there's a question about certain wrongdoings merit judicial action, the body of elders may write to the service department requesting further direction concerning the case. So this is basically lists what you were saying, and also adds, by the way, you have any doubts, call the service department. Don't figure out by yourself. Call the service department, because the service department, well, you want to introduce what the service department is for anybody who doesn't know that, because I know like you're better at delivering that kind of information than me. You're a TikToker. I make long, boring YouTube videos. Like you're better at long. I mean, at short, good, punchy content.
Oh, that's because you don't see how many edits I don't put into things. It can take me an hour to put like one little 5-second video out. But the service department is at Bethel, right?
Yeah.
And then like at the headquarters, and they're going to guide you if you're an elder and you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's basically like a call center of elders, but of like Bethelite elders who have like more information about like the kind of like legalities that you can get away with without committing a crime, and when you can commit a crime without committing like all that kind of stuff. They're the ones who know how to treat like the case of, the things that I can't say on YouTube because this will immediately get demonetized. Like the worst things that you can possibly do, those are the guys who have like their own manual besides this one to know like more about that stuff. But let's just get started.
I want to touch that manual extra bad.
Yeah. Let's get started with the first one: sexual immorality, pornea. Like I think like only Jehovah's Witnesses are familiar with the word pornea, and they go into masturbatory detail on what that means. I feel, right?
I've never heard that word outside of a meeting, outside of a kingdom hall or a watchtower. Like nobody runs around saying like, "Oh, you're committing porneia."
Hey, you want to go back to my place? I commit a little bit of porneia. It's a wide range of things, as we'll come to see.
To like my bed, it's got plenty of room for porneia.
Yeah, well, let's see what it includes. There must be another party to the immorality, a human of either sex or a beast.
Oh, gosh.
It includes adultery, bestiality, homosexuality, and prostitution. It also includes oral sex, anal sex, and manipulation of the genitals between individuals not married to each other. So, basically all of the fun stuff. Now, what does it not include? Because this is very important. If you're a Jehovah's Witness and you're only watching this to be like, okay, where's the actual link? Like, what's the furthest that I can do without getting this fellowship while being okay? Well, this is what porneia is not. It is not a casual touching of the sex organs, but involves the manipulation of the genitals. So, you could just be like, that was just casual. Exactly. Just not porneia, right? Boom, boom, boom. That's it. Not porneia. Porneia does not. Yeah, exactly. Motorboat, like just motorboat. If you're falling, maybe you can just motorboat like in on somebody, man or woman, whatever it is that you want. And it's an accident. It's casual. Or you can just motorboat like just spend like 1 hour motorboating somebody, but just like once a month. So it's like casual. And then you don't really talk about it. Like you don't talk to that person at all.
Motorboat with benefits.
Exactly. Motorboat with benefits. No, porneia does not require skin contact, copulation, as in penetration, or sexual climax. Willing participation incurs guilt and requires judicial action. I love how they have to add this willing participation, and I've gone into detail of what willing participation could mean, because in the elders, thing that you have to fill every time that there is a case of this, because you have to, as an elder, you have to fill up your papers. You have to do a lot of paperwork, right? And the paperwork that you have to fill when there's this kind of like sexual immorality, you have to say whether or not the person was of age and whether or not the person was like consenting or not, including if the person in the form of, if you are like, if you did that with a child, you have to be like, well, but was the child consenting? Which is, it's no, like the answer is no. However, we have heard of people who have gotten disfellowshipped after, getting that as a minor from a grown-up, which is, I don't know. I feel like here, just these couple of words, I read it before, and I feel like every now and then, like there are words like this that are just peppered out throughout that just bring chills down my spine because I know what that means.
Yeah.
It's just horrible.
It's disgusting.
Anyway, a fun thing about porneia, if you've seen the pillow videos, porneia is obviously, like, porneia can happen when you're like, just frolicking around with somebody who are fully clothed. However, if you masturbate in front of like other person and like you two masturbate like in front of each other, but they don't touch, that's not porneia. That is not porneia.
Damn it.
Because
I wish I could go back.
No, right? Right? I mean, not so many possibilities, but there's like 3 possibilities or something, Anyway, they also have to specify that masturbation of oneself is not porneia. And one who was, that would not be guilty of porneia. Again, they say discernment is needed in considering those claims, taking into consideration such factors as the mental disposition of the person, the circumstances that led up to the incident, and any delay in reporting. Meaning, what were you wearing, when, and how long did you take to report it? Because if you took like too long, and you were wearing like a tiny like skirt, you were kind of asking for it.
Kind of.
What does that read to you? Like, I don't know. Like, that's just it literally tells you, hey, like, by the way, the victims should not be guilty of porneia. Yeah. That being said, like, guilty is like a complex word, so just
And just the way that they've brought in like the person's mental disposition, like how are they to determine that as just random guys who, like, I think the cliche is window washers, like they're just
Exactly.
random dudes. Like, how are you qualified to know the mental disposition of anybody?
I mean, it's insane because it's like it says mental disposition. Dude, you mean consent? Is
Yeah.
that what you're talking? Do you mean was there consent?
Yeah. Were
Because
they
if there was
inebriated?
consent,
Did they have problems mentally? Were they a
exactly,
child?
was there
Like,
consent?
yeah.
Could they consent, and did they? Like, why didn't they just say that? But no,
Yeah.
obviously, like they have. It almost feels to me like they want to blame the victim. No, like hey, look, some people may want to get into it, and then they may just be like, oh, I'm a victim, so they get away with it. So
Yeah.
be aware of that. I don't know. It feels almost like the elders are being told to err in the side of caution.
And I feel like I brought this up. I was on Kendra's Culture Shock channel recently. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I mentioned to her, like, when I was a Jehovah's Witness, I had no idea what consent was. Like, there were things that were done to me that I didn't know that I could say, no, like, you don't have my consent. And there were, like, in terms of boundaries and stuff, with friends, there were times that I pushed boundaries because I didn't know what consent was. Like, it's just such a messed up place. And this really highlights it.
Yeah, and I feel it's part of the misogynist culture of the Jehovah's Witnesses that just they're like, oh, I mean, you were a victim, were you?
Mm.
Didn't you do something that kind of like caused them to like, because
Yeah.
if you wear, like, you're not supposed, in the pillow videos, again, they tell you that you're not supposed to like wear like sexy clothing, because
Yeah.
then other people may think bad thoughts,
I
so
just
you're
want to point
guilty.
out as well
Yeah.
that in the theme of tonight, talking about things that you can get you disfellowshipped, I am wearing a relatively see-through t-shirt where you can see my lacy bra underneath, because I was like, that is one thing that I can do that I would not be able to do in a Kingdom Hall. But I also know that you're like
Scandalous.
not you're not the type of person that would like do something about that as well. Like, it's just like you could never feel safe in a Kingdom Hall as a woman, really.
No, I mean, I feel like often I did feel like weird as a man, because obviously, like, you're always like, the Jehovah's Witnesses are all about appearances, right? So your
Mm.
appearance is very important. It's, as a man even. But like, that is nothing compared to what women have to go through, because they get blamed for these kinds of stuff. Like, they're like, oh, like, if there is somebody who is known for wearing provocative stuff to the meeting, which is just dresses above the knee, right? Or like slightly like
Mm-hmm.
tighter dresses. And then that person becomes a victim. Then they can be like, oh, but look at this. I mean, their mental disposition. Look at the circumstances that led up to
Mm-hmm.
the incident. Like, it's very, I'm telling you, like, I read it and I just get a little ick. Like, I can't do this by myself, because
Yeah.
I get,
And
I
also, so like I was assaulted by a pioneer brother when I was like in my early 20s. And the question that they asked me when I went to the elders, because his sisters were going around saying that I was telling people that he R-worded me, which I wasn't, because he didn't, but he did assault me.
okay.
And I did tell someone. So I went to the elders, and the first thing they said to me was like, okay, so why didn't you run? Why didn't you run away? Why didn't you flee like Joseph? Was it Joseph?
Jesus, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Why didn't you leave your clothes behind and ran away?
And I was like, I
Because,
was in another city like that I hadn't been to before, and it was like pre-smartphone era. And I'm like, again, I don't need to make excuses. The
and I
dude
mean,
touched me
some people just
inappropriately.
fucking freeze, like
Yeah,
that. You never, like,
exactly.
nobody reacts the same. Like, being like, you
Exactly.
have to like, was there any delay in reporting? Because that is a telltale sign.
And that was
No, some
me.
people freeze and they don't even know what to like.
Yeah,
Some people like to convince themselves, oh, maybe I wanted this, so they don't have to deal with the fact that
exactly.
something horrible happened to them. And
I thought
it
it
just,
was my fault. And like for years, like literally until probably last year, and like I've been out since
Jesus, I'm so sorry.
2021. For years, I thought it was my fault. And I still am wrapping my head around it. I'm trying not to brush it off and be like, oh, yeah, that thing happened to me. Haha. I'm like, actually, no, that was terrible. And I'm a little bit angry for like younger me now. Whereas before I was just like, yeah, it happened. Can't change it. But
Yeah, I
yeah.
just I feel like this is the kind of stuff that makes us feel like that, because I don't know, like, I didn't have a really healthy view of. I don't think anybody can have a healthy view of sex when they're a Jehovah's Witness, because at I remember having this conversation with somebody. Like, I remember reading this story of this man who, like, this young man who was convicted, Jehovah's Witness, who was convicted for, like, taking lewd photos of women without their consent, and just filing them in their phone. And I remember, like, me saying, "Oh man, like, that's kind of bad for him as well." And they were like, "What? But he's the instigator." And I'm like, "No. But, like, to him, in his head, that is better than having consensual sex. Like, that is, you don't understand. When you're a Jehovah's
Witness, he's so messed up mentally.
Exactly. That doesn't mean he doesn't deserve prison. Like, obviously, he deserves all of the consequences for his actions. Right? Like, that doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve. Yeah. He deserves all of it. But it's just extra sadder, because when you realize that person believes that is more okay than just having consensual sex with just another person. You know,
because he's like kind of a product of his environment. Like, he ends up being this kind of messed up headspace. And yeah, you're right. Like, he probably does view, like, oh, this is safer and better for these women, even though it's not.
I mean, it is, according to this, because according to this, I mean, that's literally what this thing is saying, that if you don't, like, interact with somebody, like, skin to skin, that's not pornea. Therefore, according to this guy shouldn't even get disfellowshipped, because this guy didn't do anything as wrong as pornea, which is kind of what I wanted to get into. Like, just all of these sins just end up being very stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to what is, like, this evidence that you need to have of sexual immorality. You need to have at least 2 eyewitnesses, right? However, where is the part that it says that you can spy on people?
Oh my God.
This one. Let me just read it to you. Consider an example in which judicial action would be warranted. A married brother, by the way, I know that this happened. Like, this is literally something that happened. It's just they can't tell you that, but it's literally something that happened. A married brother spends an inordinate amount of time with his female secretary after work hours, but insists there is no romantic interest. His concerned wife informed the elders, who give him strong counsel. Later, when he claims to be leaving overnight for a business trip, his suspicious wife and relative follow him to the secretary's home. They observe the secretary invite him inside at 10 p.m. and continue watching all night until he leaves the home at 7 a.m. When the others speak to him, he admits that he spent the night with his secretary, but denies that he committed adultery. In such case, the elders have a basis to take judicial action, because there is strong circumstantial evidence of pornea, and there may be elements of brazen conduct.
Brazen contact.
I know. Brazen conduct is basically just a little bit of foreplay. Okay, just. But this is hilarious to me, because this describes how elders behave. This is an elder and the wife of the person accused just organizing a stakeout at night, and then just spending the whole night, like, staking it out, like, until 10 a.m. and 7 a.m. And why do they have to do this? Because if you can determine that pornea happened with somebody that you married, right, you can't divorce and remarry. So you force elders to kind of, like, be this, because, you know, the elders care about the lady, right? So they want what's best for her as well, but they know that they have to, you know, observe this. So the manual is literally like, no. Here's how you organize a stakeout. First, you want to avoid as much water as possible, because you don't want to pee. The moment you pee is when something interesting happens. You want to, like, it's insane to me that this is the levels that elders are supposed to police people.
But even on the flip side of that, I know someone personally who someone that they were married to, had almost that exact same situation. They spent the night with someone else, but because my friend couldn't prove it, their partner, their spouse, wasn't disfellowshipped, and it was just like, oh no, we just spent the night in bed, but we didn't touch each other. And so they didn't get disfellowshipped, which is like insane when you see that exact example there.
Exactly. It's just that is it really leaves a lot of leeway for the elders. At the end of the day, elders can interpret this however, and if they don't like report it to the branch or whatever, or even if they report it to the branch will usually err in the side of the elders than in the side of the people they're disfellowshipping. So yeah, elders, you're totally right. Elders have like kind of like a lot of leeway to like interpret it the way that they want it. And if, say, his concerned wife is just like the wife of the main body of the elders, well, you know, maybe they just slept together. Maybe they just studied the Watchtower together, you know,
he was probably trying to convert her.
Exactly.
It was a night-long Bible study.
Anyway, here there are like a few examples in which judicial action would not be warranted, which is like an elderly Christian living alone with somebody of the opposite sex who's taking care of them, and like if you get stranded and you can't go back, you can't catch like the train back, and you sleep in the couch, and you're never in the same room, that's fine. Or, you know, if a single brother is with a married couple and then one night the man gets called out, that's also fine. It's just so stupid. Like, why are these
scenarios are wild?
I know, it's just, why are, like, they're so specific.
Yeah.
Like, they're so specific that you're like, how often do you get this? Like, they had to put it in the manual.
That's what I think about. There's that scripture where if two men are fighting and one man's wife intervenes and touches the private parts of the other man who's not her husband, her hand will get chopped off. I was like, how many times did that happen? That the Bible writer or whoever was like, we need to pop this in the Bible, because
that is like a huge insecurity. Like, I'm fighting with another dude. My wife comes in to help me. And then in the scaffold, like she just like, I don't know, just grabs like his balls. And I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna touch that hand anymore. That hand's gonna stay here.
Disgusting.
Which, like, in all fairness, you have the cooties now.
That is the place to touch if you want to take a man down. Like, first of all, it would surprise him.
You grab him by the balls. You know, like that's the point. Like, yeah, grab him by the balls. Like that is the one thing that you should do.
And I also wanted to just say as well, is like, you know, if they can't prove, like if there's a married couple and they can't prove that the cheating spouse, let's say they are cheating and spending time with their secretary, if they can't prove it, then, and they get divorced, then they're not scripturally free to remarry and stuff. And that ends up with so many people who are like stuck and alone and like limbo, like for no reason.
Exactly. And that is exactly what it goes on to say, because you are not allowed to enter a marriage. We're not scripturally free. Now, what is scripturally free? Like, we all know that. Scripturally free is basically that somebody had the sex with somebody else.
Yeah.
Right?
With the wrong somebody else.
Exactly. With somebody porneed somebody who's not the person who they're married to.
Somebody porneed all over somebody else's face. And they caught it on camera.
Exactly. They caught it, like, or at least we have strong evidence to suggest that. And it says it right here: a Christian who marries when not scripturally free would not qualify for special privilege or service in the congregation for many years, and not before living down any, like, this is just crazy. Not before living down any notoriety or reproach associated with his wrongdoing. So you can divorce somebody, remarry another person. Well, not remarry, marry another person, and what will be like the gauge to figure out whether or not you can get privileges or whatever is the notoriety from the congregation, like how the congregation feels about it, which it's just so, I'm telling you, it's really a religion of appearances, isn't it?
Yep, 100%. It's like corporate business, nothing
exactly
real.
It's just what is your reputation? Your reputation with the rest is what's going to decide your faith. Anyway, we go on to CSA issues. I'll try my best to remain monetized, because otherwise, like, I don't care about the money. Like, honestly, like, these don't really make a lot of money. But if it gets demonetized, it will also not get any views, and that is just the worst.
Yeah, we
like,
don't
I'm already not making money. Like, can't I just at least get the view?
I got like a warning on my TikTok because JW's mass reported one of my videos, which was like not even remotely offensive.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I have to be careful there too. And like, people accuse me of doing this for money. I can tell you that in my entire ex-Jehovah's Witness TikTok career, I've made approximately 31 cents from going live on TikTok.
So, exactly. It's not,
wow.
It's insane. You don't really make a lot. Like, that is the biggest lie that they tell you when you're a Jehovah's Witness. They're like, oh yeah, the apostates go apostate because they make a lot of money.
They just want
really
followers.
Like, that's the biggest lie that they told me.
Exactly. Actually, do you know what? Like, just to say this as well. Sorry, I'm very ADHD, as you know.
No, it's fine. It's fine. That's like, what we're live streaming.
Oh my God, I forgot what I was going to say. No, come on. There we go. I always thought that apostates were like organized in the same way that Jehovah's Witnesses are, like that there was a literature counter that apostates went to. They had regular meetings and they picked up apostate literature to hand out to witnesses. And I'm like, no, that's absolutely not what an apostate is or does. Like,
we get organized. Otherwise, where do we get our talking points? It's not like we just use logic and we don't need talking points because we just logic our way into it, right? Like, we need literature. We
need to have our theocratic apostate school ministry.
Yeah, I am basically like we are basically of the governing body, because we're the ones who make videos for our apostate subjects.
We're just trying to lure Jehovah's Witnesses away so that we have followers. No.
Anyway, after joking very nicely, let's go into CSA. CSA.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. We need to sandwich it in between jokes, so we don't get traumatized. Like, it's a shit sandwich. It's basically, we have CSA in the middle, but we started with a joke. We're gonna end with a joke. It's gonna be hard, but we're gonna get through it. Now, CSA occurs when an adult. I just hate the wording on this. CSA occurs when an adult uses a child to satisfy his or her own sexual desires. What a dehumanizing way of describing CSA. Don't you feel?
Yes.
When you use a minor for your sexual desire, what kind of monster like wrote this stuff? Like, it's just
like, also the way that they portray men in the religion is that they have these desires, right? They're always saying that it's men that are doing this and men that are doing that. This automatically puts in your mind that it's men that are the only people perpetrating, and that's not always the case. But so this is also very harmful to men. Like,
I mean, this does say to satisfy his or her own sexual desires. Like, they make an effort to use like inclusive, as much of an inclusive language as a Jehovah's Witnesses go, right? I don't think they're just trying to avoid the R word, as Jenny is saying. I think they're trying to avoid the R concept. I feel like by dehumanizing this, it's almost like, he used a child to satisfy their sexual desire. You know what all men had, sexual desire. And he just used a child, which is just not where you're supposed to. Like, it's just so bad. Let's just power through. You can include sexual intercourse, oral or anal. You know what I've learned when I started this channel? I can't read for shit. Like, I cannot read for shit. Every time that I try to read, I'm like, wow, I really cannot read. How I was one of the good readers for the Watchtower.
I don't know if
Imagine
you've
the
seen
other
Wayne's
idiots.
World.
It could include sexual intercourse, oral or anal sex, fondling of genitalia, breast or buttocks, or other perverted acts, such as voyeurism of a minor, indecent exposure to a minor, or soliciting a minor for sexual conduct. Depending on the circumstances of the case, it may include adults showing pornography to a minor or sexting with a minor. Sexting and blah, blah, blah. While most victims are girls, many boys can be victims as well. And it goes into what you were saying. Although most abusers are men, some women can also do that. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna reveal this one thing that I haven't even talked about like in public, right? But the only issue that I personally know of this happening was this horrendous thing. It was with one of like my sort of friends, but he was young. Like he was like in his, I think he was like early. He had just turned 20, right? And he got disfellowshipped because he got involved with one of the moms in the congregation, who was a mother of like, I don't know, like 6 children, and it was like 40, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had been getting like being in an on and on relationship for years. I don't know how long, right? And then that resulted in a child. And since that resulted in a child, they were like, well, I mean, we can't, like, this guy has to get this fellowship, right? And he got this fellowship when he was like 20 years old. Like, it's just, I can't imagine of him having a lot of agency in that. You know, like, even if he was like over 18, I can't imagine that in that relationship he had a lot of agency.
No.
And the woman also got this fellowship, but immediately got back into the congregation. This guy has never been back into the congregation. I've been trying to like contact him because I'm like, maybe you know, we can chat or something. But I don't know. Like, it's just, I couldn't blame him. Like, honestly, like I probably, I don't know if I remember him a part of his life that he wants to forget. And if that happens, you know, I couldn't blame him for that, you know? So yeah, exactly. So he was groomed. Exactly. The only other time that I know of somebody getting involved with somebody was a guy, a man, over 30 years old man, who was dating a 16-year-old pioneer. He got his privileges removed, but since there was no pornea, then, you know, he wasn't doing anything wrong, right? And as soon as she turned 18, he married her.
That's so.
What is grooming? I mean,
that's so messed up. Like,
the first time that somebody told me, and I was acting like this. I was like, what the fuck? Like, that happened to her? Because I remember her, right? Like, she used to like flirt to me when she was like 14, 15, and I was like 19-ish. And I was like, oh no, you're no, like, she was a pretty girl, but in a pretty girl, in like, oh yeah, like my like, this little girl is pretty, you know, like she's a pretty cute girl, like that. That is how I saw her, because, you know, there was like a 5-year, and there was a huge gap, right? And even when I went back, and right before she got into that relationship, when she was 16, she, like, you know, you could tell that she was a little bit interested, but I was like, no, you're a child, like, you know, like, no, that will never, like, call me when you're 25 and I'm 30, and, you know, maybe, right? So when I learned this, they were like, oh, I mean, but that was preferable, because, I mean, she was dating a lot of guys, like a lot of like burly guys in his school, and I was like, that's way better though. Were they their teach? Were they her teachers? No, then that was better.
Yeah, like, do you notice? I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not surprised, because I've heard this so many times, and like, as a woman who was once a girl, I can relate. It just is not surprising. It's the entire culture of witnesses is to do like that. Like, I knew so many divorced older men in their 40s that were going after younger pioneer sisters in their 20s, and like, okay, I do see this argument all the time online, like in various places, not just within the XJW community. It's like, oh, well, they're over 18, they're an adult. And I'm like, that's not how it works. Like,
No.
even if you're 19, if you're 20, you're 21, up to 25, I would say you're still not quite there. You can't match the mentality of a 14-year-old. And like, I work with someone who's 19 and like, she's great, love her. But I can't imagine hanging out with her all the time.
Yeah, no, you're not
like,
there.
We don't have the stuff in common. Like, I don't. Like, there's
exactly. I mean, it's what Jenny Bloom is saying. I really don't like people using the they're over 18 excuse. Legal age is just a legal age. We're so inexperienced at that age. Our brains aren't developed, especially if you're a Jehovah's Witness, because you're actively like undeveloped. Like, not only are you underdeveloped, like not only has your frontal lobe like it hasn't developed fully, right? When you're a Jehovah's Witness, your sexual experience is like non-existent. You know, like you don't know anything. Your experience with relationships is non-existent. So I feel like I don't know. Like I am very liberal when it comes to like age gaps, as long as the people are over 25. If you're over 25, date whoever you want. Like, you know, whoever you want. As long as they're also over 25, I don't care. You know, over 25, you're an adult. You can make your own decisions. You can fuck up your life however you want to fuck it. Not 18, though. You shouldn't date somebody at 16 and then marry at 18 because, you know, just so you know that you preserve the purity of this lady, you know, so you can own her. Yeah. We've spent a long time in this, but it's just, I don't know. It's very triggering.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Let's go to gross uncleanness with greediness. I'm looking for a joke. I was trying to look for a joke because I promised a shit sandwich, but I guess it's just like a shit tostada, you know, like we just started with a joke and then there's just a shit on top and then nothing.
Yeah,
it's like an open face sandwich,
like a multi meat patty burger, like of shit.
Yes. Anyway, let's go to gross uncleanness with greediness. This is one of the things that Jehovah's Witnesses are like, wait, can we get the fellowship for this? I feel no, it's basically if you are known to not take showers. I have never seen anybody oh no, this isn't the if you have no, this is the one that I'm guilty of. Actually, I'm an idiot. This is just general like uncleanliness according to Jehovah's Witnesses, right?
Right.
When one practices uncleanness to a serious degree, it can be grounds for disfellowshipping from the Christian congregation. Let's go through some examples. Momentary touching of intimate body parts. Dang it! It's what we were just. They caught it. Okay. Let's see how much we can get away with. If such conduct occurred in a few isolated occasions, especially between two persons involved in a courtship with the intent to marry, consent from two elders may suffice to handle such minor uncleanness. Okay, so it's minor uncleanness. And if you are dating somebody and you're about to marry, you can grab a boob.
Get away. Yeah,
okay, a little bit. You can grab a boob a little bit. It's fine. Don't go overboard though. Just once or twice. However, if the conduct occurred on numerous occasions and the actions escalated in gravity and frequency, it may constitute gross uncleanness with greediness.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. You grab a boob, you got greedy.
You grab one boob, it's okay if you do that a couple times. But if you grab two boobs, oh my God.
You can honk a boob like once or twice. Hunk a boob and then also grab the butt, and it happened like in a week, like more than twice. That's it. You're greedy. That's crazy. Let's see more conversations over the telephone or the internet. Yeah, sexting basically. This is just sexting. And again, if you sexting with your partner who you want to marry, every now and then it's fine. And that's kind of weird because it feels like Jehovah's Witnesses can't talk about sex even when they're about to have sex. You know? Like imagine like ideally a Jehovah's Witness couple shouldn't talk about sex until they're already married, which is just it's kind of insane. Like, what if, I don't know, what if
Can you
the guy likes
imagine?
feet, you know? Like,
Yeah. I'm
is
just like
that
imagining like all the like Jehovah's Witness couples like sexting that I knew. And I'm like,
you look, you can't sext to Jehovah's Witness. The Jehovah's Witness equivalent of sexting. Let me just show you. Hold on. It's just you send them this video. Hold on. Ah, damn it. No, where is it?
yeah, that's what she said.
Well, yeah, that is what she said in the waiting list because she didn't know anything.
Where is it?
This one. You send her this one. This is the equivalent of sexting between Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, if you're really interested in somebody, you're like, I want to dedicate a song to you. A lovely gift. You cannot convince me that this isn't the song that Stephen Led plays when he wants some. Like,
oh god,
I know that.
What Mark Sanderson plays for himself.
Anyway, let's check the other reasons to get this fellowship. Viewing abhorrent forms of pornography, which is basically not necessarily just with children, but also if it's like lesbian or like an orgy or like that kind of stuff, like that. No,
that kind of porn.
I think that's why my tastes are so basic nowadays. Anyway. And my favorite, misuse of tobacco, marijuana, and abuse of other medicinal, illicit, or addictive drugs. Like, and here it tells you, where is the bit that says weed? One or two others may handle matters by means of counsel. If a Christian abused an addictive drug or smoked cigarettes on one or two occasions and the matter is not widely known. Again, how many people know about this? The coordinator of the body of elders should be informed. However, a judicial committee is required for a practice of abusing drugs, including betel nut, which is a nut that people like to chew on in Africa, I believe, marijuana, which I don't know what that is, and tobacco.
Can't help you.
It's crazy, right? However, they're getting open with this because it says right here, if the use of marijuana is legal and a medical doctor authorizes and or prescribes marijuana for a medical problem, a Christian may choose to make use of this form of treatment. You know why this is? Because weed, I used to live very close to this town where there's a lot of like retired old people from the United States. Every single one of them, as long as they're not like Republican, every single one of them smokes weed. Because I feel like weed is just so good if you're an old person. Like, it helps you with a lot of stuff. It helps you with your pain. It helps you sleep. It helps you with a lot of stuff. So I honestly feel, okay, I'm just going to ask you this question and we're going to move on. Who do you think, if you had to pick, who from the governing body has smoked weed?
Loach.
You know what? That's right. Yes, because he. I
feel like he's the silent, like, underhanded guy that we don't really hear too much from because he's chill in the background because he knows.
Yeah, he's smoking a ball and he's just like, hold on. Yeah, and you know what? He's like European, so he'll be a little bit more open to that stuff. You know, exactly. He'll be like the one who's pushing forward to it. I think, you know what? I think it may be him. However, the one who doesn't smoke but absolutely needs to smoke, I feel is, and people are gonna may not agree with me, but I think it's Samuel Hurd. Why? Because Samuel Hurd, even though he doesn't look like he smokes, he looks like he's an old, grumpy person, right? If he smoked, he wouldn't be nearly as grumpy, and he would actually be funny.
Yes.
I don't know why Jehovah's Witnesses think he's funny. He's not funny, but he would be if he was smoking.
He's so boring.
No. Jehovah's Witnesses think he's hilarious. you should.
No,
you should.
I used
like,
to watch him when I was a witness, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, it's so boring. Can we get another governing body member? I can't."
in the recordings, you can see people laughing
Yeah.
of like his stuff, even when he's not like actually making a joke. It's insane.
Yep.
He's the dullest one.
Yeah, he definitely needs a certain strain of it to liven him up.
Yes,
Not
come
put
on,
him to sleep further.
just a little sativa, just a little bit.
Exactly.
However, it would not be proper for a Christian to use marijuana to just experience euphoria, or for him to grow it for others who are not part of his household. I do both of them. Let's fire one up for, because I need to. I mean, it just said, and that is kind of my brand. I have a
it is. I will say I had the best times traveling around the States with my ex-JW friends because every single one of them smoked.
Really? Do you like weed? Do you like smoking?
I do, but I don't know anyone here, and I haven't made contact, so I'm just still working things out, so I can't get anything here. But I do prefer gummies, because
also you're in the you're. Is it fine if we reveal where you are? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, we are in the UK, right?
No, I'm in your basement. You locked me in there earlier. Yeah.
But usually you move to the UK, right?
Yeah.
It is so expensive in the UK.
Oh,
I've heard prices. It is Jesus Christ. Like that's what, like, when every now and then I get like a person that's like, oh, donate to your channel, but I know you just use it just to smoke weed. I'm like, how much are you donating? Like, how much do you think I spend on weed? Like it's so cheap over here. Like it's cheaper than my meds. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Anyway, obviously you can grow hemp, which whatever, and it comes to what I was saying as well at the beginning: extreme physical uncleanness. Every effort should be made to help the offender see the need to keep his body and place of residence clean before judicial action would be considered. The elders would need to be certain that the uncleanness is pronounced unoffensive, bringing much reproach upon Jehovah's good name. Meaning, it's giving us a bad it's bad press, and his people in the community. Have you ever heard of this being applied? Because I don't think I've never heard of this. I feel like this may just be like one dude that was like a hoarder and like had mental issues, but the elders were like, we got to disfellowship him because he smells bad and we don't want to help him, and they just made this to disfellowship him.
There was like a literal dude that like lived in his van and parked it outside the Kingdom Hall that I used to go to, and that van was a mess. And he would take people in the ministry, so it could really only fit 3 people in the front 3 seats. And the thing was a mess. Like, nobody batted an eye. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just...
And, like, no judgment on him because, like, whatever, have a van lifestyle or something. But, like,
exactly,
to
like,
have
it's impossible to have your place of residence clean when your place of residence is a van. Like, I mean, I imagine that is extremely, hard.
But like have this here in print and like not apply it, but then apply this to other situations. Again, they pick and choose.
I'm telling you, I think it's just one dude. Like, it's just one dude, and the elder was friends with one of the governing body, and they're like, "Can you just add this so we can kick him out?" Anyway, let's go into brazen conduct. Brazen conduct is oh my God. Brazen conduct is what we in the world would consider as pretty much flirting. All right, but when it's consensual, obviously. When I feel like whenever I say this stuff, I have to say that it's consensual, because for most people will be like, yeah, of course, when it's consensual. But as we've established, not a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses know about consent and like the importance of it.
Nope.
Anyway, what is brazen conduct? Conduct. It goes into pedantic definition, into like the etymological roots of it, but then it tells us what it is. Brazen conduct describes acts that reflect an attitude that betrays disrespect, disregard, or even contempt for divine standards, aka the ones from the governing body, laws, and authority. Therefore, 2 elements are involved in brazen conduct. 1, the conduct itself is a serious violation of Jehovah's laws. And 2, the attitude of the wrongdoer towards God's laws is disrespectful, insolent,
disgusting.
I still don't know what brazen conduct is. Let's see. Unnecessary association with this fellowship are disassociated individuals. Willful, continued, unnecessary association with this fellowship are disassociated non-relatives, despite repeated counsel, would warrant judicial action. If a publisher in the congregation is known to have unnecessary association with this fellowship or disassociated relatives who are not in the household, elders should use the scriptures to counsel and reason with him, and then he will be dealt with judicials unless there is persistent spiritual association or he persists in openly criticizing the disfellowshipping decision.
What is persistent spiritual association then? Like, how would that even apply? Like, what are they doing? Persistently having a Bible study with them? Like, why not?
Yeah, that is
like,
I think this is talking about apostates, because I feel like I can, like, one of the things that I can do, like pretty much any apostate that has, studied can do, is debunk the Jehovah's Witness beliefs with just the Bible, right? It's not hard. It's really not hard. Like, go to JW Facts and spend a day there. You won't need more. JW, they'll tell you all of the talking points, right? It's really not that hard because it makes sense. That's the point. Like, you just take things to the logical conclusion and allow yourself to do that. I think that's what it's talking about, because you're supposed to be like, I mean, if we're talking about the Bible with somebody, how can that be wrong, right?
Yeah.
But here is like, no, it can be wrong when the person is disfellowshipped, and it also can be wrong
disassociated,
which is the same thing. And it also can be wrong if they're openly criticizing the disfellowshipping decision. So I believe that's why this is about compliance.
Apostates, yeah.
Yeah, this is about compliance. As long as you are compliant, I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger actually to make it nicer for the viewers. I think that's what this means. It means that as long as they're compliant, as here, there's a lot of non-relative talk because you can associate it with like relatives now, sort of, and nobody can disfellowship you, because this is a new thing after they've said that family ties continue when you're disfellowshipped. This is what that means. In the Elders Manual, it tells you that that if somebody is disfellowshipped, you can't disfellowship another person who's hanging out with that person if they are related to them. That's why the non-relatives thing is right here, even though none of the Bible says anything about shunning being relatives or non-relatives, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, and also, dating, though not scripturally free to remarry, continue to date or pursue a romantic relationship with a person, though one or both are not legally or scripturally free to remarry, doing so despite repeated counsel and generally after warning talk to the congregation would warrant judicial actions. So if you're just dating another person and you divorce somebody and it wasn't because of adultery, just dating. And remember, dating in the Jehovah's Witness world is just going out for coffee, right?
Yeah.
You're not fucking. Like, that's a completely different thing. It's just chatting and like telling cute things to like another person. Like that's it. That's dating.
Yeah. Spending time alone with some person. Yeah.
Exactly. That is exactly. Spending time alone is dating. Spending time alone with somebody of the other sex.
I can't tell you how many people I was apparently dating because I hung out with them by myself, even though they were just my friends. But they were boys, so I was naughty.
Oh my God. Anyway.
Yeah.
This is just stupid. But also, you can get this fellowship for drunkenness. Now, drunkenness, gluttony, stealing, thievery, and lying, bearing false witnesses. All of these are taught the same in the Bible as adultery. So let's just keep that in mind. We have been, like, since we started, we've spent almost an hour just on adultery alone, right? And we're gonna spend like 10 minutes in like these sins that, according to the Bible, are just as bad.
But they're not treated the same.
Yeah, they're not treated the same because, drunkenness is the one that is sort of treated the same if people know about it. And it's even here. It's when there's a practice of it or when there is a single incident of drunkenness that brings notoriety. This happened to one of my friends. My friend was 16 years old, and a video of him drunk in a party surfaced on MySpace. That's how long it was.
Oh,
That's how old I am. I know. Please don't make me feel bad. It surfaced in
I'm pretty
MySpace.
sure I'm older than you, so don't worry.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure we're the same age. It went viral on MySpace, and then everybody in the congregation knew about it. So he got publicly reproved for it. He didn't get this fellowship. He got publicly reproved for it, which is almost the same thing. After, like, I remember seeing him, and it was after that incident, like a year after. So he had been like already like gotten back into the congregation and everything. He was extremely fully indoctrinated. His eyes looked completely empty, and he looked like he had age. Like he was my age. Like we were like a couple of months different, right? And he looked like, I don't know, like I felt like he was like 5 years older than me. Like it was very clearly like a very traumatizing experience for him, because he got drunk one time, somebody recorded a video, uploaded it to MySpace, and then it went viral with it didn't even go viral. Like enough people have seen it, you know, to where it was considered an incident that brought notoriety.
Also, side note, like I feel like so many people were publicly reproved back in the day, like that, but it didn't. I feel like it didn't keep happening in the last like 10 years or so. Like I don't remember anyone being publicly reproved in the last 10 years of my being a Jehovah's Witness. Like that's just clicked in my head.
I haven't been in the meetings for like the last 10 years, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I was
was
marked only, but yeah, I only knew that you could get like it is weird, because I didn't even know that you could get marked even though I got marked. So I feel like a lot of this, like Jehovah's Witnesses don't even know about like all of the ways that you can get punished for going against the rules. And certainly a child would not be able to know, which is why Norway removed the status of the Jehovah's Witnesses as a religion. That's why this is important, because a child, like they were saying, a child can truly not understand all of this stuff, and yet they can be disfellowshipped. They can. So when you're saying, oh, it's their fault. I'm sorry.
And they can be baptized in the first place without understanding
exactly.
the consequences.
Yeah. Exactly. Because if you can get baptized, then you can get disfellowshipped. So you should not get baptized until you truly know all of this. This should be out in the open for all of Jehovah's Witnesses, and it should be only for Jehovah's Witnesses who are, I mean, I wouldn't say 33, even though that was Jesus' example, right?
Like we were talking about earlier with age gaps, like at least 25.
Once you're 25, go for it. Follow the example of Jesus, though. Jesus got baptized in their 30s. What is wrong with that? Jesus did it. Yeah. Jesus did it. Jesus literally gave classes to the guys who knew a lot in the temple when he was a child.
Yeah.
Like if anybody could have gotten baptized when he was a child, it shouldn't have been him. Yeah. He waited. Why can't Jehovah's Witnesses wait?
Exactly.
Anyway, it just I you know what? I have like all of these memories of like shitty things that happen in the Jehovah's Witness world. And I feel like I'm just carrying them, and I feel like just expressing them in the channel. I'm like, maybe it won't just be negative. Like this negative thing. Like maybe it can now have a positive impact for the first time in like 15 years of like my memory of this event that has been tormenting me. Do you get that?
Yeah. And like I think of things as well, like on the other hand, like, you know, as you grow up and stuff, like you have your friend groups and you have these in-jokes and you remember your memories with them. And I'm like, you can't do that once people start shunning you. Like you start to lose memories and things until like some random word or smell or picture might like bring it back to you. And it's like, whoa, but you don't have anyone to talk about it with because like everyone's shunning you.
Yeah, the people who share that private joke to you, or it's just, they're also private to you now. So
yeah, extra private.
Yeah, it is an extra private joke. Not even you can be a part of it anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, another sin that you can get disfellowship for is gluttony. And I absolutely love how short this is, probably because every single one in the governing body is a little bit overweight. And if you're, you know, I'm just saying, I'm not saying everyone in the governing body is a glutton. I'm just saying when you are that rich and that powerful, being in shape becomes far, far, far simpler than it is for the vast amount of the population. Like, I wouldn't judge anybody for like their shape, obviously. But when you are at that level of power, and when you're inflicting like the Bible, like using the Bible to like disfellowship children, and it looks like you are a glutton, and this is everything you say about gluttony, I feel like I can call you out. Like, I feel like it's not fat shaming in this case, you know?
It's highlighting their hypocrisy.
Exactly.
But no, I will say like that's such a short little piece, and to include it amongst the other things is ridiculous. When it can be like there's so much that actually goes into that has to do with your mental disposition that they talked about earlier.
Exactly.
There's a lot going on. There could be medication, hormones, depression. Like, it's not just that someone has a lack of restraint. Like, that's ridiculous.
Like this is just that's what this says. It's just two sentences that says a glutton routinely shows a lack of restraint, even gorging himself on food to the point of feeling very uncomfortable or becoming sick. If you do that, that is binge eating. You probably need meds for that. You need a doctor for that. Like, it's not that you're doing this because you absolutely love eating until you feel sick. Nobody likes that.
You need help. And
exactly, you need help.
Just I don't know, like I'm pretty sure my entire life from when I was 10 years old, like I've had an eating disorder, but unfortunately, you know, when you talk about it, because I'm not rail thin and it's not anorexia, people don't understand it. And it's like things like this don't help. And there were so many sisters that I knew in the congregation that like wouldn't eat at all because they didn't want to be seen as a glutton, or they wanted to be seen as like more feminine and tiny and whatever. It's just like there's so many layers of awfulness actually to that particular thing. But anyone that is, you know, falling under, like, how do they determine that someone is a glutton? Like, are they following them around the same way they're following someone around that's committing adultery? Like, what are they, how?
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Or like, if someone came to them, again, they're not qualified as mental health specialists, and if they came to them like, hey, it's a problem, and they're like, oh, well, we're going to disfellowship you and actually make it worse for you. So
exactly. And it even says, like, I feel like the last sentence is just there to just like be like, by the way, elders in the governing body and stuff, like, those are not gluttons, because gluttony is determined not by someone's size, but by his attitude toward food. What does that even mean? His attitude toward food. So he likes, they want to kick someone out who likes food too much.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they don't even have to be fat or anything, as long as you really like your food. Like, you really, because you don't even have to like be big, right? I feel like this is, I don't know, like, I feel like there's been times where I just have like the munchies and I'm just snacking like on like everything all day, and I would be glutton because I show lack of restraint and I'm not big, right? But it's just my attitude towards the food that I can't stop eating it all day when after I have like a very good brownie, right? So I don't know, like, it's just so stupid. It's just so stupid, and it's just, why can't this be why can this length be shared by, you know, adultery and all of that stuff?
Yeah.
Where is the etymology of gluttony in the Bible?
Yeah.
And in the ways that we can use it to determine how somebody's a glutton. Like, where is all of that study over here?
That's actually, it's so short. I'm actually going to look more into that at some point, because like that is so short and it's so like, it's bizarre that it's there. Well, and it's bizarre that it's there in the context of the governing body all being overweight, yes. And like, again, not fat shaming, just pointing the hypocrisy.
Exactly.
And in the context of it being like, yeah, just, I don't know, there's a lot going on there for such a small paragraph.
Not everyone is big in the governing body. I think David Splain is like a one guy.
Yeah.
Who's like, you know, he's like a snake. He's just like smart meal, but in a thin, small package, you know.
And again, like, how you look does not determine if you're does not determine your health. It does not determine if you're glutton or not. So
exactly. David's plane could be the biggest glutton, if anything. Give him a couple of brownies, and he will be. But you know what? What else is equally short? Stealing or thievery, which I'm assuming gluttony doesn't really affect anybody but like the person who has it, right?
Yeah.
Stealing or thievery, literally, like by definition, has to affect somebody else.
Well, apparently though, like just flipping back, because apparently gluttony does affect other people who just apparently are incredibly fatphobic. So
yeah.
just Anyway,
the all stealing is wrong. The body of elders should use discernment in weighing the circumstances and the extent of the involvement in wrongdoing to determine whether it is a judicial matter. Why can't it be the same with sex?
Yeah.
Why can't you change stealing with, I don't know, adultery or like sex outside marriage or whatever? Though all sex outside marriage is wrong, the body of elders should use discernment in weighing the circumstances and the extent. Why can't it be the same? Why can't it be the same? Stealing, you're probably stealing from a Jehovah's Witness as well. Yeah. You know? Like for Jehovah's Witnesses, that's a big deal. But no, like you can steal from somebody, you can fuck them. You can fuck them figuratively by stealing from them.
You can masturbate in front of him and then steal his money, but you cannot fuck him.
No. And here, there is just, this is the worst. Deliberate malicious lying bearing false witness. Though all lying is bad, judicial action is taken only if there has been a practice of deliberate malicious lying, which means deliberately harmful, harboring ill will or enmity. That means that when Jeffrey Jackson lies to the Australian Royal Commission, it's fine because it's not malicious.
What about all the little enemies of God that are out there in the audience? All the babies just building enmity.
No. All of those are worse, if anything. They're enemies of God because they don't stay quiet at the meetings like the grown-ups do.
They're lying.
They're enemies of God. Anyway, and then even here, generally, elders should not consider administering discipline if a Christian charges another Christian with making false statements in a court dispute. Like if you're literally charging somebody with slander, I don't know, that's kind of a legal thing, like let's not get into it. It's a legal thing, Yeah. Jesus Christ, it's just why so little? And then again, fraud slander. We're gonna make it a little bit smaller. Fraud slander, this at least gets a little bit more. And I feel fraud or slander gets more because there has been a lot of like fraud victims in the Jehovah's Witness religion. Again, you're only in that bubble. You don't have like your rational mind necessarily like working on 100%. You may be victim of a fraud. And it just defines it. And I love it. The congregation would not consider forming a judicial committee unless the offended Christian had taken steps 1 and 2 of Matthew 18, 15, 16, and meaning try to talk to them and be like, where's my money? And had initiated step 3 as described in Matthew 18, 17. So you have to go and collect, and you have to bring a witness to go and collect. And until you do that, like people are like, it's not our place to judge, Well, Jesus wouldn't have judged. Wouldn't have wanted us to judge Jehovah, because Jesus is not really talked about in the Jehovah's Witnesses.
No.
Anyway, let's get through this because it's just. I feel this is just protecting like the potential fraudster, and it's kind of boring because who cares? Reviling though, it's interesting. Have you heard about reviling before? You probably have, right?
Tell me what it is.
Reviling involves subjecting a person to insulting speech, heaping abuse upon him. The body of elders should weigh the circumstances and extent of wrongdoing so as to determine whether a judicial committee should be formed. Elders should not be quick to take judicial action. A judicial committee will be formed only if the reviling is extreme, disrupts the peace of the congregation, and persists despite repeated counsel. So again, reviling is like insulting somebody, but it's only bad when the congregation knows about it.
Yeah. And
again,
like, who's again the same with like the two witness rule for the CSA. Who's going to be openly doing that in front of people?
Exactly.
That's something that happens repeatedly when no one else is around, because why would you do that in front of people?
Yes, but reviling has been used as an excuse to disfellowship apostates.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the apostate speech, just by going against what the governing body wants, that is considered insulting, hateful speech, right? I get comments like that all the time. I'm sure you get comments like that all the time, being like, "Oh, why are you bashing their religion?
Yeah.
Why are you insulting them?" I'm like, I have literally never done ad hominem in the channel. That is a choice that I've done, that I've made for my channel. I never do ad hominem. Give me one time when I've insulted like one person without like actually saying, like, just outright an insult. I'll delete that video. You would have made something for your religion. I can delete an apostate video for you if you tell me where I did the hate. But obviously, since the hate is just speaking against the governing body, apostates can just, you don't have to convince. Like, what is a Jehovah's Witness gonna be like? They're gonna be like, yeah, you're an apostate. You deserve to not be here.
I always say back to those comments, I'm like, I'm really sorry that facts make you uncomfortable. Hopefully in time you won't mind them so much.
Exactly.
That, like,
I always challenge them. Whenever anybody is like, "Oh, you're so hateful," I'm like, "Okay, give me one sentence. Give me one clip. Give me one clip and I'll remove the video. I'll immediately remove the video. Go. Bet. Go ahead." Obviously they can't, right? Now, there is obscene speech. Now, obscene speech is only obscene when it involves sexually explicit, filthy expressions. Is the speech sexual? Like, why? Why? Why is it obscene when it involves, like, so fuck is better than shit? Like, it's just, if you say fuck, because that can be about sex, and shit can't be. Fuck is worse than shit.
Yes. Although what? I mean, there are probably people that are into scat play. So.
Oh my god! When you said although, I'm like, don't go there. Don't go there.
Which one of the governing body
don't
members?
Mix those. Oh no! Oh my god! Which one of the governing body, and why is it David's playing? Let's continue. This would include obscenities used both in written and in oral communication, such as internet chat rooms, phone sex, or email. Internet chat rooms, do they even exist still? I feel like those are gone, right? Like that is I don't know. Like,
imagine emailing your sex, like, dear blah blah blah, I want to see your penis, sincerely, blah blah blah, send. Send from my iPhone.
Sex email. I don't think anybody has done sex email. Like, it's just so clunky, and just, you have so much tech. No. Anyway, again, I don't know anybody who is getting kicked out of their religion for obscene speech. I assume you haven't, right?
No.
If anybody knows anybody who has gotten kicked out for obscene speech, let us know. Now, there's greed, gambling, and extortion. Weirdly enough, I feel like, one of these are not like the rest. I feel like you can just gamble, right? Like, you can just go to a casino, like in Vegas, one time, and then lose all your money, and then, or you're like me, go to a casino in Georgia, the country, and then lose like $100 in 15 minutes, and be like, you know what? I'm not even having fun. I'm never coming back here.
Yeah,
that was my own experience
in my trip through the States on the way here in upstate New York. I was like, why did I do that? That was a waste of time. But pushing buttons was fun.
No. To me, it wasn't even fun. I try to, like, do it a little bit with the machines, the little, like, roulette machines or whatever. And I was like, okay, let's just play. Okay, I lost this one. Let's go again. Okay, I lost again. Let's go again. Okay, I gained a few cents. Let's go. Oh, I lost that and then some. And then, I was just there until I had $100 less. Yeah. And I was like, I've done nothing. Like, this is horrible.
Oh my god, that was me. I was like, okay, well, like, at least I did the thing that I wasn't allowed to do, but now I have determined for myself that I won't do that again.
Exactly. Like, now I determined that it's not that I'm not allowed to do it. It's by Jehovah, is that I'm not allowed to do it by my budget. Okay. It's an entirely, like, my budget is my new God. That's the only dude that determines what I can and cannot do.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So basically, it just says if an individual's gambling reveals a course of greediness, perhaps causing harm to himself of others, and he ignores repeated counsel, judicial action would be appropriate. However, it does say that you can do petty gambling as long as you it doesn't affect your spirituality and people don't know about it. Basically.
What? I didn't know about that when I was a Jehovah's Witness. That's not bad. That means only elders know that they can do that.
I think I need to check this, but I'm pretty sure this is new because petty gambling was seen as a huge sin, as a huge one time. I was with a friend of mine who was an elder, and he was kind of like more spiritual than me, right, obviously, and we were I think we were watching like a game or something, and I'm like, hey, like if because we were going to a bar afterwards, and I was like, hey, if they score then this next one, you have to buy me a beer when we get to that bar. He did not take that bet, and he was like, oh yeah, no, I can't do that. Like just like he took it very serious, and I was like, it's a beer, man. Like it's you were gonna buy it for me anyway. Like I'm broke. I was gonna hook you up with the bill anyway. Like what are you talking about?
I was just making it easier for you.
It was my fault. Honestly, it was my fault for trying to seduce him into gambling. So yeah, I honestly think that this is new because that was also my experience. They were extremely like anal when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, over here there's another one that is refusal to provide for family, which let me just tell you, when we left my father, and my father for abuse, after like pretty strong evidence that he had cheated on my mother, and after he had told her that he was going to cheat on her again, right?
Yeah.
The one thing that we could get him in the judicial committee for was for this, because he refused to send us any money.
Wow.
That is the one thing. And even then, the elders were like, I mean, you did leave, so you only have to go back to that house, and he says that he will provide. That was literally the argument. So it was like nothing even happened.
Wow.
It was insane. It was insane. Let's just see what it says. It's basically a misogynist thing, okay? But misogynist in a way that hurts men as well. Because it says, does the husband adamantly refuse to provide for his family, or his failure to provide for them because of other factors such as health or financial difficulties? This is determining. Obviously, if it's such as health or financial difficulties, and like if you're broke or sick, and that's why you don't have money, then it's fine, right? But you have to give them repeated counsel, and oh, look, I hadn't seen this one. When a separation is involved, to what extent is the wife responsible?
Oh.
Oh my God. So, if the wife's responsible for it, like she doesn't deserve alimony.
Wow.
That is the one thing that they're like, you know what? No. We're going to be woke in this.
Wow.
Women are equal. They don't deserve alimony, actually, sometimes. But yeah, I mean, this is basically misogyny, right? This is just the husband has to provide for the family, and if he refuses to do that, like this is why even when people can't provide for the family for whatever reason, even when they're trying, they feel lesser than, because they're like, oh, I'm basically committing a sin, even if it's not a sin because it's an accident.
Yeah,
it's just pretty damaging. Fits of anger. What is that? Fits of anger, violence, domestic violence. A Christian who cannot control his anger cannot be viewed as exemplary in the congregation.
I also want to say, again, this is unnecessarily gendered. Like,
yes,
it's not always only men that are perpetrators in domestic violence. Like,
and weirdly enough, not only is this missing that women can also, engage in domestic violence and be the perpetrators. But again, we just have 2 paragraphs, and it's like, just check with the service department, and like, it's just about like, what it should be dealt judicially, but like just check with the also, unless he took up professional boxing and refuses. If he took a professional boxing, then you can disfellowship him. But if he's like beating his wife like casually,
it's just casual hit.
Just have you talked to him?
Yeah.
Why can't that be like, oh, I had sex with my girlfriend, and then they just talk to you so you don't do it again, and then it's fine. Why can't that happen? No, apparently you can beat her up, but you can't have sex with her.
And you can't divorce her.
Yeah, you can't divorce
you.
Well, I mean, I don't want to get a lot into like the misogynist parts of the Jehovah's Witnesses, but that is just basically because you had sex with that woman. So that woman is spoiled good, so you can't divorce her. Like that's why divorce is so taboo in the religion. Most Jehovah's Witnesses don't like to say it out loud, but that is literally why that is.
But yeah, I also want to talk about like my experience with like domestic violence is that my mother was physically abusive to me and my younger brother. Like it's not just men. Like, I mean, my stepdad was too, but it's my mom was a Jehovah's Witness, so.
I mean, abuse like that is like physical abuse like that towards children is pretty permitted in their religion. Like, physical punishment is a given in a lot of congregations, if not like the majority or all of them, especially in the past. Like I was physically punished like a couple of times a week for most of my childhood. So like it's very normalized.
I remember asking for help like from one of from a sister that I used to study with when I was younger. And she just basically flipped it around to like, how can I better not irritate my mom? Like, shut up and keep silent and not be a nuisance. When it's
I know. I mean, I remember one time that I had been without like getting a spank for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and my parents were like, "Oh, look, you haven't made us given you like that. Have you noticed that? You haven't done that?" And I was like, oh yeah, I have. And now I'm like, oh man, that was just blaming the victim. That just I was 8 and I had ADHD. Like it wasn't like I was a bad kid. I don't understand. It's just I look at my childhood and I'm like, I really wasn't a bad kid. Like I got good grades. I was educated. I did everything that the cult wanted me to do. And yet I was still punished like twice a week for like most of my. That is insane to me. Like I don't understand it. I honestly don't understand it. I feel like
I couldn't like move without doing something wrong in my mother's eyes. It's like it caused me to be so hypervigilant that like I get frights all the time now, and I can't stop getting frights. And I'm sure the root cause is how my mom treated us, but oh no, she was a good parent.
Yeah, honestly, look, I do want to make a video about I want to title it something like "The Sad Childhood of a Jehovah's Witness" or something like that, because the children in the Jehovah's Witnesses are basically like the forgotten members of the Jehovah's Witnesses because they're not useful, they haven't been useful, they can't be useful until they're older, so they're just a bother until the religion can take advantage of them. And
just little robots that need to be roboting, or else they're going to be in trouble.
Exactly. They have this very, very precise way of behaving, and any deviation will result in immediate punishment, and definite punishment, because punishment is glorified in the Jehovah's Witness religion, especially towards parents. But, in the whole religion, as we can see by the fact that we're reading a whole manual about it.
Yes. Let's press on.
Yeah, we don't have that many. We just have a couple more. Okay. Including the best one, the one that we're doing right now. So let's go through manslaughter, because again, manslaughter, one paragraph. Pornea is like what was it? How much was it? Jesus, let's just check it out, because we're about to finish anyway. Pornea it starts. Oh my God, it starts over here, and then there's like half a page, and then there's another page, 2. 3. It's almost 4, because this one is not that necessarily.
Yeah.
But this one also goes into that. It's like at least 5 pages. At least 5 pages. But if you've killed somebody, oh, just over here. Just over here. Just one paragraph. We don't need to get into a lot. Aside from deliberate murder, blood guilt may be incurred if a person causes loss of life through carelessness or because of violating a traffic law or other safety law of Caesar. The elders should investigate and, if warranted, appoint a judicial committee to hear the matter. The committee should base its decision on clearly established facts, not simply on a decision that may have been made by secular authorities, which means that you can be a convicted manslaughter and the elders can be like, not for us. Yeah. Not for us, bro.
Still a witness. You're good.
Yeah. How many witnesses are there? We couldn't establish anything on established facts. It's just hearsay of, oh, look, this is how my family died when this drunk guy impacted into my car. That's hearsay. That person, the child was playing on their phone. They didn't even see anything. Not even a witness. Oh my, it's just the worst, honestly.
Yeah.
But let's just go into the last one. Our favorite one. The one we're doing right now, the one that we do all the time, despite, being a full-time job and not getting paid for it. Apostasy. Apostasy is a standing away from true worship, a falling away, defection, rebellion, abandonment. It includes the following. Well, first of all, no. First of all, source. Where's the notation? And let's just go through what apostasy
and also includes. Like, since when is apostasy falling away? Like, that's not even, that's just being an ex-witness, like, or
exactly. Apostasy is when you don't go to the meeting. What?
No.
Yeah, falling. I guess it's just like falling away, but in like an evil way, like in a way where you're critical,
Yeah.
Celebrating false religious holidays. Not all holidays directly involves false religion and require judicial action. This is so fucking like just pharisaical to me, because it's like, have we made a connection between the holiday and a pagan practice? Because if we haven't, then I don't know, like what religious holiday would false religion? I guess like Thanksgiving would be one of those false religious holidays that you maybe could celebrate, but because it's not like directly against the Bible, it's kind of like you can't get this fellowship for it because it doesn't involve false religion. But like Christmas,
like
obviously,
like Mother's Day and Father's Day, I don't think that's like religiously based, but that
I think you're wrong. I think Mother's Day is.
It is.
Okay. I think the Jehovah's Witnesses relate Mother's Day not just to like different traditions, but to the fertility cults, and that's how they get away with saying that it's bad. Father's Day, I've never heard that. Mother's Day, I'm pretty sure they related to fertility cults, and they were like that's what they're pagan. Participation in interfaith activities. Apostate acts include bowing before altars, shrines, idols, and images, and sharing in false religious songs and prayers. And this is the one that kind of, I mean, I've done all of. We should have, you know what? I mean, I don't want to out you or anything, but we should have, figure out like which one we have done. That would have been fun. Yeah. Anyway, because obviously I have celebrated false religious holidays that it's a great part of being an apostate. Participating in interfaith activities, though, this is horrible, because I remember in junior high school I had a friend, as much as you can be friends with somebody on high school when you're a Jehovah's Witness, right? And his brother passed away suddenly in a car crash, and he went to the school like the next day. Right. And everybody was obviously just like treating him like so nicely and everything. And even like the teachers were like, hey, how are you? Like, what are you going to do? Do you want to have a snack during class? Just trying their best. Right.
Yeah.
And everybody agreed to go to, we live in Mexico. So when somebody dies, it's traditional to go to a church and have like a little, talk about the person, like the Jehovah's Witnesses. Right. And everybody was going, and I wanted to go because I wanted to support him. Yeah. I mean, he was a dude, like he was my age. He had lost somebody. I had never seen anybody as heartbroken as him. Like it was horrifying for me to look at it, and I just wanted to be good, right? Yeah. I was like, can I go to the church? Like, can I remember asking my parents, like, can I just go to church? Like, I won't do anything. I just, he's hurting. Like, I want to be there. Like, you know, just to be there.
Good friend. Yeah.
Not even like a good friend. I feel like that's just a human thing. You know, like, you know, somebody who's hurting, you know, that they're going to do something that's special to them. You know, that you're invited. You kind of go, you know, it's just being human. But obviously I was not allowed to go. I was not allowed to go. Everybody in school, everybody in my classroom went except for me.
Wow.
And I felt like an asshole.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just, I don't know, like, I have all of this time, like, I get tortured by all of these little things that I did as a Jehovah's Witness that they're kind of shitty. I don't know, like, do you get that? How do you deal with that? Does that ever go away?
I think like a similar experience for me was that I had like a work friend, and it was during a period where I was inactive for about a year, and she invited me to her wedding, but I was like, I can't go because it's in a church, because she was very other kind of Christian. And I just remember being like, I can't go, and that was one of the prompts that prompted me to start going back to the meetings and everything, because I looked into, like, I think I talked to a sister, and she was like, no, you definitely can't, it's false religion, blah blah blah, and she started, like, you know, trying to reel me back in. So, and I feel really guilty because this person, like, did nothing wrong, and she was my friend, and here I was being like, no, I can't come because I'm a Jehovah's Witness. Like,
yeah, and it's in a church. It's just, honestly, it's these, however, this may be leaving, because a lot of things are leaving. A lot of things are changing in the religion, right? I don't think there's a lot of pressure for this to be changed. But I think if I was, you know, auditing this book and I was just like getting rid of the extra pharisaical stuff that has absolutely like no basis in the Bible, regardless of how they, I know that there's like 2 Corinthians and these are like, we can't go into this because otherwise like we'll be here all day, right? But these are always taken out of context. Always taken out of context, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that, like, I would just trim all of this fat, you know, like, it's just, it doesn't even do anything for the members. It just like further it isolates them and alienates them and makes them more miserable, right? And while that's good for the religion, I think they're trying to like get rid of this, you know, extra culty, almost baseless stuff, like not saying hello to somebody who's disfellowship, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, next one is deliberately split. I can't read. Deliberately spreading teachings contrary to Bible truth. Now, what is Bible truth? Is that what it says in the Bible? That is what it says in the Bible, right? So you can just go to somebody and be like, this is what the Bible says, and that is going to be Bible truth, right?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Like, they decide it because they, even though they're not perfect, Jehovah's told them.
Exactly. Bible truth is whatever the governing body decides.
Yeah.
That's it. This should read, deliberately spreading teachings contrary to what you heard directly from the governing body. That's it. Obviously, if you have sincere doubts, then you can be loving. If they are obstinate, loving's over. Like, the love's over. This may lead to apostasy. If there's no response after a first and second admonition, a judicial committee should be formed. You want to know how a first and second admonition works? My friend Jake from the Otherworldly channel has recorded a bit like when he got like one of those admonitions, and it's basically just the elders being like, "But we've been taught that the Bible says this, though. Just say yes. Say yes. Let me read you this out of context Bible verse. Say yes. That's it. That's basically it.
That's it.
The next one is causing divisions, promoting sects. This will be deliberate action disrupting the unity of the congregation. No, I mean, or undermining the confidence of the brothers in Jehovah's arrangement. It literally tells you, hey, are you undermining the confidence of the brothers in Jehovah's arrangement? Because that may involve or lead to apostasy.
There's a few brothers I'd like to undermine.
Yeah. Well, but are they in Jehovah's arrangement? How in Jehovah's arrangement are they? Anyway, employment promoting false religion. This is insane. Continuing in employment that makes one an accomplice who or a promoter of false worship would subject one to disfellowshipping after being allowed 6 months to make the needed adjustment. I'm pretty sure the 6 months and all, I mean,
Would
that
that be
employment, all
like
that stuff. That's in the Bible, right?
would that be like working at like a Christmas store or something? Like
Yes, working at a Christmas store, working at a Halloween store, working. I guess you know this. This means to me, and let me know if what do you guys think about this in chat. This means to me that as a Jehovah's Witness, you can be a moral Santa. You can be a moral Santa because you have 6 months to make the needed adjustments, right? Moral Santas only have to work for like a couple of months.
Yeah.
You can be a moral Santa. Just do it every other year. So and keep changing congregations so people keep forgetting.
Move around a bit.
Yeah, move around. You can be a male Santa, a moral Santa. Spiritism, which they don't even talk about. That's crazy. Like, look at all of the actual biblical verses that talk against Spiritism.
Yeah.
And they don't even talk about it. They're like, oh, just read these verses. We don't, it's self-sufficient. The Bible has said everything that needed to be said in this and only in this topic alone.
Yeah, we don't need to add to it like we do the rest of the Bible.
Exactly. This is the one time where we don't need to add. You are afraid of demons, right? Just kick people out who like demons. Like, that's it.
Yeah,
and finally, idolatry. Idolatry includes the use of images, including pictures, in false religious worship. And that is why a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses are against just staying in a place that has a cross.
Yeah.
I have been in Airbnbs with Jehovah's Witnesses, with crosses, and the Jehovah's Witnesses. The first thing they do, before even like getting into the room, they remove the crosses and put them in a drawer where they can't see them.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Anyway, what do you think of this long list of how to get kicked out of this fellowship? How to get kicked out of the Jehovah's Witness religion?
Well, I feel like it's very specific, but then at the same time, it leaves a lot open to interpretation. Like, there's odd specific examples, but then it's also like, oh well, if they're repentant or if they have this attitude, then that's okay, or it's not okay, and
exactly. And now it's even more so because now they're like, hey, as long as you can't kick somebody out who wants to remain in the congregation, as long as they want to remain in the congregation, as long as they think the governing body is right, you have to keep them. You have to keep them. According to the new line, to the new Mark Sanderson update from a week ago, that's the case, right? Anyway, should we go through what we've done? And you don't have to say. You have to say. I'm just gonna go through the ones. I'm just gonna say the ones that I've done and that the ones that I can admit. All right, in this live stream. Unfortunately, again, live streams don't really get a lot of views. So no elder is going to wait until now, and no policeman is going to wait until now. It's perfect. Sexual immorality, pornea. Yeah, I mean that has happened for me.
Yep.
Strong circumstantial evidence of sexual immorality. That has also happened. I mean, when pornea happened, there was also circumstantial evidence for that to happen. Entering marriage when not scripturally free. No, I've never done that though.
I was never married, so
yeah, I haven't done that yet. I'm still married. I'm still in my first wife. I don't know how long that will be. She's listening. So
that's okay because we have an agreement that I'm going to marry her next. So
okay, then it's fine. That's fine. It's fine. If you're marrying her next, then it's fine. She's going to enter a marriage when not scripturally free because there's no way that I get lucky again and just find another woman to who wants to do it with me. Anyway, this one obviously no. Like obviously that's just obviously no. Gross uncleanness with greediness, depending. This I have done obviously. Immoral conversations over the telephone or internet, I have done.
Yes. I did that when I was a witness too, so.
Yeah. This is okay. This may bring the mood down. Should I say? I feel like I should say. Okay. This is I'm just gonna say it because like this is something that I shouldn't have done when I was a child, right? And this is why I get like so passionate when I talk when we talk about this kinds of stuff, right? And how the Jehovah's Witnesses like fuck you up mentally, especially when it comes about sex. When I was 16, I was looking for people to have a cyber sex with online, right? I was actively trying to do that. And even though, like, it was very hard to find people, that shouldn't have happened. I was a child.
Yeah.
Like now I think back and I'm like, what the fuck? Like that is what, just because I thought, oh, if this is better because I can literally just stop whenever, and then it's not like I know them, or I literally thought that it was better, but I was putting myself in a very, very, very dangerous situation, right? So yeah, I even did that when I was a Jehovah's Witness, and honestly, like I did that because the Jehovah's Witnesses have like all of these rules that make you think that good things are bad and bad things are good, and end up endangering you. Like I don't have any history. Obviously, you have a lot of stories about being a woman in the organization and all of that stuff. I don't have any of that stuff. I am a very straight man, right? A very straight man, and I never dealt with attraction and all of that stuff. The only thing that I dealt with was sexual repression, and sexual repression just really fucked me up. So yeah, this one I have done in a.
Well, I do want to say, like, because I'm going to be doing a YouTube live with Kendra again, and we're going to be touching on purity culture, and one of the things awesome. I literally can't wait to do it because her channel is amazing, she's amazing, and it's a great subject to touch on.
But I mean, we touch about it today. It's a great subject.
So for me, from my experience, because I was, a goody two shoes Jehovah's Witness who fully believed it but didn't get married, I did not have sex until after I left, right? And then I'm like in my 30s, like that fucks you up as well. Like you spend your entire life in this cult that tells you this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, don't do it outside of don't do it this way, don't do it that way.
Exactly. You can do it like this, but not like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm open about that too. Like I was a virgin until I got married when I was 25. I hadn't even seen like a proper woman like fully nude in person. Like I had never even seen that. And
that's
it was
proper women don't go nude. It's only the improper women that go nude. Sorry.
I was saying proper women and to not to not to be weird. It's just like as somebody who wasn't in a porn, like that I watched and I felt guilty. That was what I meant. But yeah, it's just like obviously like we figure it out, and you can be happy. You can figure it out as long as you have a partner who you can be in an open conversation about like this kinds of situations, and you can be open about all of this stuff. You can figure it out. I'm not saying my life was ruined because of it. I'm not, luckily I was with somebody who I could figure it out with, and that was awesome, right? Not a lot of people get that stuff. I feel like I was extremely lucky.
Yeah, I think that my first time and the person that I was with, like I was so grateful it was with him, and he was amazing, and like it was so much better than any. I can't even imagine like if I'd married the guy that I was seeing last when I was a Jehovah's Witness, like there was no conversation around anything. Like we wouldn't have known what we liked or what we wanted to do or how anything would have panned out. It would have been uncomfortable, awkward, and not very sexy at all. But
exactly,
fortunately my first time was amazing, and the few times after that as well.
Look, that was not like my case. I feel like it was just a little bit. It wasn't like I didn't enjoy it, right? It was just that I didn't even know what to expect. Like it was just so unexpected and so weird, and I didn't even know what to say afterwards. Like it was awkward in that sense, like because it just, even though like I was married to this person, like we had never shared this and we had never like been like this to each other, and it affected, like it wasn't like a horrible thing that affected us forever, obviously, but you can feel like, oh wow, like this is like a completely new side of you, completely new territory that I literally did not know about this person who I just married. So again, I lucked out. I don't think, oh, this was horrible. No, it just, I can't imagine how for somebody who hadn't been as compatible, like as me and my partner are, I can't imagine that everybody is as compatible as I am with my partner. Is basically what I'm saying. You know, like not everybody's going to have that luck, because also because I married when I was 25. A lot of Jehovah's Witnesses get married when they're 18 because they want to have sex. You know, you're probably not going to make the right choice.
No.
Anyway, let's finish with this to figure out the things that we've done before we finish. Viewing abhorrent forms of pornography. Yeah, I mean, some legal pornography. Remember, this does not include illegal pornography. Illegal pornography is different, and it's touched on in a different part, and only requires strong counsel. It's not disfellowshipping offense. Disfellowshipping offense is more than 2 consenting adults, basically, or consenting adults who is either more than 2 or they're the same sex, or whatever.
I've definitely viewed more than 2 consenting adults have fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that is most porn now. It's just it's a lot of porn. Like you're gonna see misuse of tobacco, marijuana, and abuse of medicinal, illicit, or addictive drugs. I would never do that, obviously.
Never.
That's the one thing that I would never do. And obviously, you would never do that because marijuana. That's bad for
Mary
your brain.
Jane, who is she?
And this also only talks about marijuana. I wonder how long until we see an update for psychedelics, because psychedelics are in the rise, especially medically.
Yeah.
So I wonder how long until we see psychedelics and we see more of the things that I've taken in this list. Extreme physical uncleanness. Listen, you're a lady, so obviously that has never happened to you. However, listen, has my partner left for a long period of time, and have I just bought a whole bunch of food to know that I don't need to leave the house, and then realize, oh, if I don't need to leave the house, then I don't need to, shower or anything, and then be like super depressed because, I'm alone, and that's just what happens, and just not shower? Who's to say? Who's to say whether that happens literally every time that she leaves? As soon as, even if when she leaves for a couple of hours, she comes back, I haven't showered for 2 weeks. Sorry, what were you want to say?
I was going to say, like, we both have, like, agoraphobia in our background there, and depression and stuff. So it's like, stuff like that has happened. Like, when it gets bad, it does happen.
I mean, look, if you've been depressed, you've been extreme physically unclean. Like, that is, it happens. That's what I'm saying. Like, it shouldn't even be a sin. Like, if you're extremely physically unclean, something's wrong with you. Like, there's something that is a symptom of like a deeper issue within you that you should get help to fix. Like, nobody is like, I'm just not gonna shower. I love feeling icky and just not showering and feeling like I love nobody's like that. We are programmed to not be like that.
Yeah. Yep. And I will say as well, another symptom of like that can go along with unmedicated ADHD is that because you find all the steps to do something too hard and too much, so you was it like you have decision paralysis or whatever?
Yes.
And so you're like, I need to do all these things, and then you just end up sitting there and you don't do any of the things. So
yeah, that I also that also happens to me. Like, look,
but I mean, I will say, well, just to clarify, that doesn't result in extreme physical uncleanness for me. That's just like, maybe I don't shower for a couple of days, but
exactly. I'll level with you. I do have to, like, every now and then. I don't always have to do it. Like, today, took a shower, was amazing. It was fun, right? Because of my ADHD, every now and then, like every couple of weeks or whatever, I have here, like, I have a list of things, a to-do list for, like, it just helps me with my ADHD. And every now and then, I just have to write down shower. Like, I need to write it down, because otherwise I will not remember. So that definitely happens to me. Like, last time I did it was last week. So, it does happen to me often. Brazen conduct like unnecessary association with disfellowship of disassociated individuals. Nah, I don't handle. I don't hang out with those losers. You know.
Yeah.
Get good with Jehovah, and then get good with me is what I say.
Who was that guy you mentioned earlier, Jake? Who even is that?
I know. Like I don't even know that. Like it's just I don't know.
Ew.
Dating, though not scripturally free to remarry. No. Unfortunately. Drunkenness.
A little bit.
Yes. I've only gotten properly drunk once and I hated it. I loved it for like 20 minutes. There was like 20 minutes in between the 10 margaritas and the 5 beers that I was gonna have that I felt amazing. We were clubbing, I was dancing, it was amazing, right? 20 minutes after, I had a shot of Jaeger with a beer, and then after that it was horrible. Like I threw up. It was I threw up on the way back, and I was in an Uber. Fortunately, I didn't throw up in an Uber.
Yeah.
Like I fortunately was like, I just signal, so the guy could like pull over, and then I got outside and did it like that. And I gave I was so drunk and I felt so guilty that I gave the dude a tip that was like 5 times what the cost of the trip. And I didn't even feel bad because I was like, oh, it's just he had to smell it. He didn't have to clean it, but he had to smell it, a poor guy. So no, I don't like getting drunk. I don't like it, but I have done.
I've done it like maybe twice since leaving. And it was like the first one was with my worldly friends. New Year's Eve of 2021 to 2022, and it was amazing. It was really fun. We went to a strip club. We got completely drunk, and we went to McDonald's on the way home. So it was perfect. The McDonald's was amazing. And I didn't throw up.
No, I did throw up, and then it was horrible because I was staying with some friends who I don't hang out with for obvious reasons. Where you're gonna see, because we went back. My partner and I went back at like 2 a.m. I feel like it was a Friday night, right? I feel like it's fine. They never opened the door. We just got locked out.
Yeah.
So at 3 a.m., I had to go and look for a hotel. And then I found a hotel finally, and they were fully booked. But if nobody arrived by like 5 a.m., then they can free up the room. So I just like after like throwing up and like go like walking all around and just being all around the city looking for a hotel. I just sat in a lobby from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. while just drinking water, feeling like shit. Wow. So it was horrible. I feel that's why I don't even get drunk anymore. Yeah. Like it's just it was such a horrible experience. I don't want to do it again.
I'm like
gluttony.
I have fun. But I also don't
that's all. I wish. Look, if I hadn't thrown up and if I had like a good night's sleep and I was just like hungover the next day, because the next day we did go to Denny's and we did order like the most fatty shit like possible, right? Like I was like, that's it. Like this is the one time that I'm gonna spend money and I'm not even gonna care. Like I'm in Denny's when I'm hangover.
No.
Gluttony. I do that every time when I'm very high, and it just.
Listen, if someone puts a bag of chips in front of me, I'm not going to say no.
Exactly.
And they probably won't see that bag again.
Yes. See, that is your attitude. That is you're showing lack of restraint. Yeah, honestly, we got like a package of like cookies, chewy. I love chewy cookies. We got a package of cookies, chewy cookies yesterday, and I've gone through like it was a big one, and I've gone through like half of the package already. Yeah. It hasn't even been 24 hours. So yeah, this I've done. Stealing thievery. Listen. Stealing from your fellow man is always bad, right? It's always bad. You shouldn't do it, right? However, when it comes to, say, a gigantic supermarket, right? Like some people, look, some people call it shoplifting, right? I prefer to think of it as urban foraging. Just let's say, I don't know. Let's say you see like some dog food over there, and you know that there's dogs outside that are homeless. Walmart can afford to feed those dogs. You know, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And you know, let's say, you know, I don't know, like I have to shoplifters sometimes. What I'm saying, deliberate malicious lying, bearing false witness. Look, honestly, I've done less now that I'm not a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
I used to go through so much mental gymnastics to just try to explain people my beliefs and do all of this stuff.
Yeah.
That I even engaged in deliberate lying because I knew that it was good for my argument for the religion. So yeah,
I feel like
when I
as a Jehovah's Witness, I lied more than not being a Jehovah's Witness.
Right?
Yeah.
I do want to make a video about this because, or talk about this like in some form, because I feel like Jehovah's Witnesses kind of prime you to lie because since it's just about appearances, then you kind of have to like lie sometimes, even to the house owner when you're preaching and stuff, and they're they ask you, hey, what do you think about the gays? You have to lie. You know, you're coached to lie. So yeah, I did that when I was a Jehovah's Witness, and I became kind of like a compulsive liar for a bit, even where I didn't reply with the truth. The first thing that I thought of is, what does the other person want to hear? And I replied to that. Like it was just like, I don't know, like, and it was damaging because I mean, I'm an idiot. I don't know what the other person wants to hear all the time. So, you know, it was 50-50, right?
Yeah.
And I got in some problems because I lied and I didn't even know why I lied. It's crazy. Anyway, fraud, slander. I haven't done this. No. Have you done a little bit of fraud?
Not lately.
And if you have, look, if you have, can you teach me? Because I don't know how.
No.
Reviling? No, I don't insult. I don't use like insulting speech and heaping abuse. You know, like I do like, look, I do like swearing, which is like obscene speech right here. I do like swearing, but I like the comedic effect of swearing. Like sometimes, like usually, like I call my partner B word, not the B word, like proper. I just say, hey, B word, and you know, without actually saying it, because I think it's just funny. You know, I feel like when you can say something offensive and it's funny, that's cool.
Listen, I'm from New Zealand, and like in New Zealand and Australia, the C word is a term of endearment. So
yes. Oh man, yeah. So you have done this too. Perfect.
Oh yeah.
Now you've done greed / gambling / extortion, right? Because it's all one thing. So if you've been to a casino, you've done extortion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I again did it once, hated it, would never do it again. I'm not made of money. I can't think of being rich enough where spending money for no reason and just wasting money away is just, you know, entertainment for me. Like I work so hard for that money. It makes me suffer.
Yeah, it was really sad because I was coming to the end of my trip through the States, and I was like, oh no, I just lost like $100 that like I could like. Why did I do that?
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it's just it was horrible. It was horrible. Refusal to provide for family. Look, I mean, I have been depressed, and I have not been able to work. And honestly, that could probably be it. You know, if I was a Jehovah's Witness and I didn't have like that you know, very good elders, or if one of the elders wanted to get in with my wife, I feel like, you know, they could have done something about it. You know.
Yeah, I feel like you've touched on a good point there. Like that's what I was saying in the beginning as well. It's like there's so much nuance to being disfellowshipped and like these rules, because it depends on what an elder wants from you or what you can do from them, like what you can do for them. Like if he wants your wife, he's gonna find a way.
Exactly. Obviously. And there have been so many experiences about it. It's insane. Anyway, fits of anger, violence, domestic violence.
No.
Sort of, because I did go to like a boxing place, and I did take one lesson, like one sample lesson.
But did you do it in your house?
No, but this is when I didn't take up professional boxing. But I feel this is just like if you do boxing for a living, right? So I feel like I just got into it. But no, I'm obviously I'm not. I'm not an angry person. Like I don't even.
I feel like because of my upbringing, like I could not fathom laying a hand on someone else or anything. Like,
yeah.
I mean, the closest I ever came to it was when Nacho like did something really naughty, and I'd go bop him on the nose. But like seriously, just a finger and like a quick.
Yes.
No.
No,
like,
I mean.
Yeah, I can't even doing that. Like now, because he passed away, I'm like, I feel guilty for all the times I went no. Like,
no, look. I feel like I can't even like do fits of anger and domestic violence properly, because I feel like that's such a United States thing to do, because in the United States, like most of the walls are just plywood, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably like really cool to just punch through a wall.
Yeah.
These walls are made out of bricks. I can't do that shit. I'll break every single bone in my in my hands.
Yeah.
And in my body, because I don't know how to throw a punch. So I don't know. I can't do that. Like I'd love to just be like that toxic, man that it gets like super angry and just, takes it out against the wall. But I can't. I mean, I can't. I'd have to be Superman, or I'd have to. You know what? I'd have to construct a wall exclusively for that purpose. Yeah, and I feel like that just defeats the point. Yeah. It has to be any wall.
I will say that I do want to go to one of those like rooms where you can smash plates and stuff, and like,
yes,
I reckon that would be fun. But I also
I'd
feel
love
like
to
if
do.
I got there and did that, I'd accidentally hurt myself somehow, like flick a plate at the wall, and it like comes back and dings me on the head, and like it's just.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you know that video that went famous of like a woman just like throwing an axe and an axe throwing thing, and the axe just like bounces back, and then she nearly misses it, like just it goes straight to her head. I'm like, that would be me. I've never done that, but if I ever do that or anything near to that, that would be me. And I'm an idiot. I would not get out of the way. Like my head would literally just, I would kill myself.
Anyway,
let's go through the last couple. Manslaughter. Obviously, I haven't done that.
No.
Yet.
No.
Nobody pissed me off in chat today.
Is it manslaughter or is it man's laughter? Nobody knows.
Yeah. And why can't it be woman's laughter? Yeah. Why can only man laugh? Apostasy. Celebrating false religious holidays. I literally, like, I try to celebrate every single holiday. Not Valentine's Day, or like there's some holidays that I just like kind of like icky. But like Christmas and stuff, oh my God. Yeah. We have Christmas decorations for like, I try to have it for almost 6 months.
Yeah. I had my first Christmas, first proper cold Christmas with Marsha and Riley when I first moved here. So that was fun. And like Marsha and Riley are super into Christmas, and it was really fun to be around people that are that excited for it too.
Yeah, no, I saw the photos. I didn't get jealous at all. Like,
No, yeah, it was amazing.
Like, I mean, the one Christmas that I had, I mean, we just had the tree, and then we had to move to this house, so I had to take it down. But I wasn't jealous. I wasn't just looking at it and being like, I wish it was in Britain. It's insane. Like I swear to God, like whenever people like are in Britain, like I feel like there's a lot of British apostates that just hang out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm in Mex. I don't know anybody in the whole fucking country anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna just have to come and visit you guys.
Yes, please. Participation in interfaith activities. Have you prayed in a church?
No.
I have. It was the last time that I ever prayed.
Yeah.
I prayed at a church because I was in Damascus, and I went to the church where Paul was supposed to be healed.
Yeah.
In Straight Street. And I've always wanted to have the experience to like pray in a church.
Yeah.
But by that point, I was already fully atheist. So but I was like, I'm still gonna pray. I've always wanted to know. So I had to know. Like I bowed down and I prayed, and I didn't know what I was gonna pray. And I kind of just told God, hey, when I realized that you didn't exist, that I was so happy. So thank you. There's something like that. Yeah, deliberately spreading teachings contrary to Bible truth. No, we don't have channels about that.
No. Because
causing divisions, promoting sects. No, but you should support me on Patreon, right? I mean, that is promoting sects in Jehovah's Witnesses, right? Employment promoting false religion. I haven't done that. Have you been like, I don't know, like an elf assistant to Santa or something like that?
Not yet.
I wanted that. I think I would. Okay, elf. Spiritism. Have you done spiritism?
Does tarot cards help? Do tarot cards count? Yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. I haven't done it.
Oh.
You know what I want to do? Look, this is what I want to do.
Oh, sorry.
Look, I want to get together like with an apostate, maybe with a couple of apostates, get a Ouija board, do a live stream. I would love to do that. I spent most of my life deadly afraid of a Ouija board.
Yeah. Can I come? Can we do that? Like, if
yes, let's go. Let's do it. Bring a Ouija board as well, because I don't know when to buy one.
So my quick little story was just that, like, when I got to Alaska, Celeste from TikTok as well, some of my followers will know who she is. I'm not sure if you know who she is, but she's amazing, and she did my first tarot reading for me, which was fun. And then when I got to New York, I went with some friends to Salem, and I went and saw all the witchy things, and I picked up my own tarot deck. So I've got my own one from Salem, Massachusetts.
That is so cool.
Day of the Dead themed as well, because as you know, like, I was in a Spanish congregation, and that kind of like holds a place in my heart for me. So
that's I was awesome.
Like, perfect deck.
I did see a deck of cards that is like 420 themed, and like the tower is just like a broken bong, which was amazing. That being said, I do have one tarot ring. I bought this one. I don't think you'll be able to tell. Is the tower? Because I just thought, how cool. Like I can just wear a tower that's literally breaking down. And it means a completely different thing for me as an apostate, obviously. Yeah. But it's something that nobody as a Jehovah's Witness could wear.
And I remember being like so afraid of tarot cards and anything like that. And it's just like it's almost like the day's text. Like it's not a big deal. Like it's
oh my God, you're totally right. It's like the day's text, because so many Jehovah's Witnesses are like, no, read this, because what if you need this? What if this is how Jehovah wants to talk to you today?
And it's essentially just a guide. I don't think like if that's how you want it to be, it's just a guide for your life. For me, it's just something fun that I do. That
exactly
like,
it's just
every now and then, like, and the cards are pretty, so
yeah. Look, it doesn't it's just weird because it doesn't mean anything unless you want it to mean something. And maybe maybe through a I don't believe in that stuff, but do I believe that nobody has ever gotten a revelation because they saw their problems, like they were thinking about their problems, and they saw their problems like explained in a different way and portrayed in a different way and figure out something for their life? Like, has that never happened to somebody? Like, that had to happen to some people sometimes, right? So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you do idolatry? That is the last thing.
The best thing though as well, like that we're free now. We can choose to do whatever we want. So, yeah.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
Idolatry. Do I idolize anyone apart from myself?
Have you used image, including pictures, in false religion worships? Like you do pray to like a photo of yourself, and you're like, Queen, you got this tomorrow. Like that is your nightly prayer, right?
It's my affirmation, so I wouldn't say it's idolatry.
Yeah. We call it affirmations. Like when you're a narcissist and you want to make a cult about yourself, you call it affirmations.
Exactly. That was what I was trying to string together. And then also I was like, should I hit on your wife further and say that I idolize her because she's so cool and mysterious and fun?
Yeah.
So
she is very cool. Honestly, she's very cool. I'm telling you, like I just got like super lucky. Like that's why whenever I see like people getting married like super young and stuff, and they're Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm like, no, you're gonna fuck up. I see so many marriages of like Jehovah's Witnesses that sometimes like when they just end up waking up and inevitably their marriage breaks apart because they realize that the only thing that was holding them together was the fear of getting destroyed in Armageddon if they pursued a better life by themselves.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do have one question for you. How do you keep your hair so cool? Like it always looks cool. I feel like anybody with that hair color, it looks bad like after 3 days. And I've never seen your hair look bad. That is awesome.
I will say that I use lunar tides. I do it every 6 to 8 weeks. So my regrowth is actually coming through. But I also pop a little bit of it in my conditioner. So every time I have a shower and wash my hair, it helps keep it vibrant. So yeah.
Oh, it looks awesome. Honestly, like I don't know if I should paint my hair. I've thought about maybe getting blonde and going from there. But then people are gonna be like, oh, that's the Lloyd. And you know, I feel like Lloyd has ruined it for a little bit. I can't wait for Lloyd to like grow back his normal hair. He looks better with
Lloyd's ruined a lot of things, let's be real.
Yes. Like I can't let Lloyd teach me or allow me to wear my hair how I want. Okay, but I feel like since I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, I'm already looking for like slightly overweight older dude to tell me how to live. So it's just the way I'm programmed. Anyway, thank you so much for staying, for coming here. I've been wanting to invite you forever. Like honestly, my partner, like there was one point where my partner was like, just text her already, because I've been meaning to text you, but then I was driving or what, like I remember that, and then I was literally like, I was in the middle of, I was very high when I texted you, but when I texted you like to do it, I was like, I need to do it right now, because otherwise it would be another 2 months. So I'm just so happy that you were able to come here. Where can people find you if they want to see more of you? Because obviously people will. And
well, it depends on how much more you want to see of me. You can mostly find me on Instagram. Like my DMs are open if anyone wants to chat. I always say that. TikTok, I'm on X and Twitter as well, and not really on Facebook that much, but I do pop stuff on there every now and then. So yeah.
Yeah, and what do you usually talk about? You told me that you're gonna have a conversation about purity culture. When is that? Because you know, everybody should be on the lookout for
so
that.
we're still planning it. I actually just messaged Kendra about it last night, but on her channel, Culture Shock, with Kendra Lee Bryan, I have done a 2-part interview with her, and the Purity Culture live stream is going to be the third and final follow-up, and we're going to chat about all things related to that. She is absolutely amazing. She is in a cult herself, but not a witness. And I always talk about this as well, that I try to hype up other women who have been in cults and promote their work and do things, collaborate with them as well, so that, you know, it's not just men.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Because honestly, I feel like it is a huge sausage fest. Like it's just like I can't do anything about it. Like I have a sausage. Like why am I? Like it's fine. Anyway, go check out that channel. It's cool that you already have like 2 videos, and we have time to watch those videos in preparation for that purity video. So everybody, go watch that. I will definitely be watching that. Purity culture is one of the things that I've been very interested in Jehovah's Witness religion, because it's fascinating how they handle it and how backwards they are. Like you can compare it to like, I don't know, like ancient cultures. Sometimes it's just the way that they treat a woman's purity, women as objects, and their purity as their main feature of the object. It's just horrible. So I can't wait for to hear that. But if you want to hear more from me, you can always subscribe or go watch my videos. Or I mean, if you like this live stream, you may need to subscribe if you want to check out the next live stream. That being said, I mean, I am very rambling, and Apostate Barbie is not going to be here in the next live stream, probably, you know, so it's all going to go downhill from here. So subscribe if you want to see that. And I don't know, like, should we drink a beer?